Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel for another 112 scale figure unboxing and review video. And today we are going to look at this Target exclusive Star Wars Black series from the Clone Wars animated series. And this wave consists of characters such as Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, ARC Trooper, Echo, and Clone Pilot Hawk. So guys, before we jump into the unboxing process, let's take a look at the box art design first. And as you can see here, I'll be looking only for Anakin. The composition will reflect same as the other figures. So at the top here we can see the Star Wars logo lettering, and at the front this is the type of box. We can see the figure up front and the accessories, and at the side we can see the artwork for the character. And at the bottom we got some warnings and lettering for the character's name, and also we got this 50th Lucasfilm logo, and top left is the age restriction, and overall is reflecting the Clone Trooper helmet. At the back here we can see this yellow line over here. It's indicating the timeline of events in the Star Wars saga, so you can just refer that. We don't have any future figure, and we don't have any bio or anything like that, so it's just a plain timeline and all the Star Wars legacy. And this is the Clone Wars lettering at the front that I forgot to mention. So guys, that is the simple review for the art box. It's basically the same composition for all the figures. Yeah, the unboxing process, I think I will choose ARC Trooper Echo as a sample, and because he has the most accessories in there comparing to others. So let's try unbox this figure, shall we? So what I do is I saw a small area space at the bottom right there, and just stuck my knife and just slide the knife through. Very careful and gentle. It's yeah, you have to be patient with this kind of box type, so you just slide it at the side because it's much easier for you to pull it out, and yeah, like that. So yeah, we got the figure and the box in a very good condition. So yeah, this is the figure of Trooper Echo. So this is the whole figure. Already unboxed it all, and as you can see here, the height comparison, of course, that Anakin stands taller than anyone else, and because of the ARC Trooper is wearing a helmet, so he looks much more taller, but without it Anakin still looks taller. And yeah, I think this comparison of height is pretty much on point and pretty accurate in my opinion. So guys, before I go into more in-depth review for each and every character, I just wanted to share this figure individually in a turntable so you can see the details, the overall sculpt and everything before we go into the articulation segment and anything else. So yeah, so I will begin with this Anakin Skywalker first for the in-depth and close-up review for the figure itself. So yeah, let's see the accessories first. So we have this lightsaber for him. This is the only accessories for him, and the look is pretty detailed on it. And as you can see here, there's a pack there that you can actually put at his belt, and it's actually can be open like that, can be pulled out, and you might want to look at it carefully because it has some sort of segmentation that connects to the hilt. The head sculpt, you can see that the paint application for it is pretty neat, and although it doesn't look like the animated series, it still look pretty darn good. With this chest armor here, it doesn't really flush with this shoulder pad over here, and this piece is actually a separate piece, front and back, as you can see here. And as you can see here, this piece actually as same as the lower part over here and connects with the belt glued together, and underneath it is the soft good stretchable material. As you can see here, the gloves looks the same, but the right one has a little bit more detail on it. And same as the shoulder pads over here, you can see that the same design, but the one that has the logo is on the left side. So this shoulder pad actually has a connection with the shoulder articulation ball joint there. So I will explain it in the articulation segment later. Looking at his boot, you can see the detail on it, and I could see the profile for this boot is pretty good. You can see that, and but underneath is just a plain, and we have some lettering of the product maker. On his exterior uniform here, you can see the wrinkles and all the details of this fabric and the groove line of this armor. You can see that it's going throughout all the uniform itself, so that is pretty darn good. And the belt also looks pretty neat. Yes, and the colors also match on every side except the soft good, and I love the blue color on it, the blue gray like color. Yes, that is pretty good theme for this Anakin. Looking at the articulation, from the top we have this ball joint lower and upper neck, so you can actually do such a rotation and tilt for the heads. So as you can see here, the middle section here doesn't have any cut, so it doesn't have any torso joint. It only depends on the waist articulation with each. The movement is very minimal, and I don't think that is a good sign for him. And yeah, on his shoulder here, the hands can rotate 360, but you have to, you know, look into its shoulder pad over here. You can bring up the hands to that extent. You can swivel at the shoulder and make it higher. It doesn't have bicep swivel, but it does have the swivel on the elbow here. It does have one jointed elbow, and this rotation on his hands, and actually hinge on his hands too. So yeah, because of this is a soft good plastic, so you can actually bring the leg forward to that far. And then we have a double jointed knee, that is pretty good, and we have articulation on his foot also, and have some pivot, very good ankle pivot over there, and his leg can actually spread at this extent. So that is about the articulation for Anakin Skywalker. Moving forward, let's take a look at Echo here. You can see that this is him, the figure, and before we go into any detail for this figure, let's take a look at its accessories first, starting with his helmet over here. His helmet looks pretty good, and you can see there is a very simple articulation for the aiming system for this helmet. And we got this long rifle over here, and it does look pretty good detail, but it doesn't really visible because there is no wash or any other paint application to it. It's just a plain black gun over there. Yeah, so that is really a bummer. So maybe they in the future could have some silver or any paints that can bring the detail out. So that is my opinion. So looking at this health scope, you can see that it has some sort of offset pen application on his eyebrow there, but it's really a minor problem for me. Other than that, the pen application on his skin tone and hair sculpt is pretty good. I love it. Looking at this armor over here, it's actually a separate piece glued together to the figure itself, and we can see that there is some hand marks there. We have the groove line, and this blue surface is here is very different to the left side. And as you can see here, this is the separate piece of the belt over here with pouches, different size of it. And at the back we can see this some sort of backpack or unit. I don't know what it is, but it does look very nice in terms of the paint application over there. And the lower part here, you can see that this has a holster and pouches that connects to the belt from the front and until the back, with this separate piece of belt, and you can actually holster the gun left and right. As you can see, the left and the right side of this arm looks different in terms of its gauntlet design, and the coloring for it is different too. So that is really good for this figure. So at the lower part here, we have on the side is this some sort of soft material, soft plastic, and hopefully it doesn't actually hinder too much on the articulation for the leg. So yeah, in terms of this scheme, this blue color, gray and black, it really the way that they painted this figure looks much more appealing in my opinion. So I think that is about that on this Echo figure, and it's pretty good in conclusion. So let's take a look at its articulation, and from the top we got this ball joint on the lower neck and upper neck, so we can actually have rotation on his head here, side to side tilt, and looking down and up that much, it's pretty hindered I think. And when you equip him with this helmet, it doesn't have that hindered side to side. That is pretty good actually. And for the middle part here on his torso, we have the ball joint over there, and you can actually have this tilt and front to back movement. And unfortunately we don't have any cut on the waist, so that is a pretty standard for Black Series figure, especially for Clone Trooper or Stormtrooper. So yeah. So at his arm here, we can raise his arm until that extent. If you want it more, you can just swivel at his shoulder there, although it's restricted on the armor. You have this bicep swivel over here, you can see that. And then we have some sort of a butterfly joint over there, just a little bit. And then we have the double jointed elbow, but it's actually hindered by this elbow cap over here. So we have a rotation on his hands here, and we have a hinge up and down, but this is only for the left arm. And for the right arm, we have hinge side to side like that. So I think this is for holding the weapons. If you are not firing at somebody, yes, you holding it, pointing it downwards like that. So looking at this lower part of the body, and we have this soft plastic over here, so we can actually move this leg forward until that extent, and then bring the leg back until that extent. It doesn't hinder anything. Still have this single jointed knee, and yeah, we have this swivel on the thigh. We also have swivel on his knee over here, and then we have the ball joint at the leg, so we can actually hinge out and in, and we have pretty good ankle pivot every day. So that's about this figure. So let's move on to Obi-Wan Kenobi. So this is the look, overall look for him, front and back. And before we got into more details, let's take a look at its accessories. So this is the lightsaber. So yeah, the lightsaber is slightly different from Anakin Skywalker one. So it has the same function. We can actually holster it onto his belt over here, it will not fall. And his lightsaber actually doesn't have any indication or how to put it or any segmentation. You can just slot it in anywhere you like. Yeah, looking at this head sculpt, you can see that the pen application on him is pretty good. There is not any smudge on it, and although it doesn't look like the animated series, but I still feel this is very quality head sculpt. And as you can see here, there is a smudge on the paint application bleeding towards the chest armor over here, and this piece over here is actually a one piece front to back, and at the lower part over here is actually connected with the belt itself, and this is actually a soft material, soft plastic material, so hopefully it doesn't really hinder much on the leg articulation. So looking at this figure, what I think is that this figure is actually a mashup or just a kit bash from the Clone Troopers and Obi-Wan's Jedi Knight suit, and as you can see here, it is well integrated by Hasbro, and we have this, you know, kind of looking of General Kenobi here, so that is pretty nice. The boot here doesn't have any detail on it, so it's pretty plain, yeah. And as you can see, this Jedi uniform, we have a different kind of texturing from the upper and the lower part of this Jedi suit, so that is very questionable, I think. Yeah, so that's about it for this figure. On the articulation, we also have this ball joint lower and upper neck, so we can have a very good range of turning and looking up and down pretty good. Yeah, so for this figure, although it doesn't have the middle cut on the torso, and it only has this waist articulation, it goes pretty good, more than Anakin figure, so that is pretty nice. And when this arm is raised up, so we have that shoulder pad tucked inside the armor, so that is a pretty good engineering as well. And if you want to raise this up much more, you can have that, and this shoulder pad wheel follows, and it does flush properly. It doesn't have any bicep swivel, but we have this single joint elbow, and we also have this rotation on his elbow. So at the hands, we have the hinge, up and down, rotation, and then on his lower part here on the leg, we can kick that far forward, but this you know, I think there should be a cut over here for the suit here, so it doesn't really look that weird, I think. Yeah, we have this double jointed knee, we have this swivel on the knee, and we have a tie cut over there. So yeah, you have some sort of a hinge on the ankle. We have a good pivot. Yeah. So guys, this is the last figure from this wave. As you can see, the profile of this clone pilot Hawk is pretty good, and he doesn't comes with that much accessories, only this blaster, and this is the same as the ARC Trooper Echo. So because of this, clone trooper has this right hand trigger finger, so definitely he is right-handed and will be holding this gun like this. So looking at this head sculpt, you can see this helmet have that, you know, very distinguished look for a pilot figure, and as you can see, the profile for this helmet is pretty much different. And yeah, as you can see that it connects it with this sort of, I think, a ventilation equipment. So as you can see, the armor is basically the same as other clone troopers, and you can see this detail, the separate belt over here, and this hue tone, white and blue. And I think this lower part is exactly the same as Obi-Wan's, only the pen application is a little bit more different, and the foot also. Yeah, so let's take a look at its articulation. So the head can look down that far, looking up that far, and we have the ball joint on the neck, so it can rotate pretty good. And we have this torso articulation at the middle here, so yeah, we have a very good range. So we have this separated belt here. There's no waist articulation, so the hands can be rotated 360. You can raise the arm until that extend, and yeah, and then we have this bicep swivel over there, and then we have this double jointed elbow, surprisingly, yeah. And we have this rotation on his hands and hinge up and down, yes. But on the right hand, we have this side to side movement over there. So at the lower part here, we have this cut on his thigh, so you can actually spread the legs till that extend over here like that, and then bring the leg forward but if you want to make it much more higher, you can just switch tilt this swivel at his thigh, and we have this double jointed knee, hindered and covered by a knee pad. So yeah, at the bottom here we have this ball joint on the ankle, so we have some pretty good hinge, although it's hindered a little bit, but we have some sort of a good ankle pivot there. So that is about this figure. Before I end my video review here, I just wanted to state that my verdict for this figure and for this wave is pretty strong. It does have some strong character in this wave, and I believe that people will try to get the whole set. For those who collect the clone troopers, they definitely want this Echo and Hawk pretty bad, and as for me, I just want this Anakin Skywalker, to be honest, because I think he looks different. He looks very stylish with this kind of outfit. Although this figure is not perfect, but it is acceptable for now, and this is the only chance that we're going to get for this kind of Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars rendition. For Obi-Wan Kenobi, I think this still is some sort of kid bash figure in a good way, I mean, and it works actually. It integrated pretty well, but there's some of articulation that is outdated and needs to be find a different solution for him. So yeah, I'm pretty happy also with Obi-Wan Kenobi here. So guys, that is the end of my review, and tell me, will you be picking this up or will you skip it totally? Just leave a comment down below and we'll discuss it. So if you love the content, please click the like button, and if you feel you want to support me, please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click the bell notification button, and you will be notified once a new video comes live. Once again, thank you for watching, and till we meet again in my next video. Sayonara.